Welcome to the PhilpseyForce Deadmines Dungeon Guide. Let's get this started. The location. Where are the Deadmines located? You guessed it. It's right here in Moonbrook. This little bottom little house barn thing. Let me mark it for you just in case. Bam! Circled. Alright, once you get inside, here are all the quests. Sorry, Horde, these are Alliance only, as you can see here. These white numbers are the level you need to attain the quest, and then the arrows are showing the chains that lead you into specific quests. And then this is your location, so Stormwind, Sentinel Hill, Stormwind, Sentinel Hill. I have VC as VanCleef, one of the last boss. He starts the Unsent Letter. And if you're a Paladin, you'll go here from the Tome of Valor into the Test of Righteousness. So as you can see here, there's a 7-part chain that starts at level 14 before you get the Defias Brotherhood. And then the Unsent Letter turns into a 12-part chain. So make sure you have the bag space, make sure you complete it. But these are all the quests that you can complete inside the dungeon. Let's move on. Here are all the gear awards from the quests. So, choose one over here. You'll get the Miner's Revenge. You'll choose this set of gear, choose this set of gear, and choose this set of gear. Pretty self-explanatory. And all the links will be down below for your viewing pleasure that you can do at your own leisure. Alright, let's move on. So this is the dungeon-specific set. It's the Blackened Defias set. Or the Defias Leather set. I'm sorry. And then, if you, which I'll also have this linked at the bottom, and if you want a good pair of shoulders around the same item level, not item level, but character level, you can go with the Bandit Shoulders or the Scouting Spalders. God, I hope item level doesn't show up. Alright, the mobs. The mobs inside the dungeon, they range from level 15 to 21. You've got humanoids, you've got undead, and you've got parrots. Parrots galore, they're very annoying. You have 2 rare spawns outside, and you have 1 rare spawn inside, for a total of 11 bosses or named characters to kill. Let's introduce them! The bosses. Okay, in the order in which you might see them and kill them, I have the Brainwashed Noble first, the Marisa DuPage as second. Those are your 2 rare spawns outside. Foreman Thistlenettle in the undead area outside. And then we're gonna dive inside the actual dungeon. So inside the actual dungeon, you'll start with Rhahk'Zor, and then you'll hit Miner Johnson. Then you'll go for Sneed in the Shredder. Then you'll hit Gilnid. Then you'll hit Mr.Smite or Mr. Smitty. No one, I don't think, really knows what the name is supposed to go here or go for. Could be like the pirate reference, or just could be Mr. Smite. Anyway, and then you're gonna hit Captain Greenskin, and then depending on your party, Cookie and Edwin VanCleef. I always go to VanCleef first, and then hit Cookie at the end. But if you want to go through a couple more pirates and do the safer route, you kill Cookie first. Alright, now let's see what these bosses have in store for us. First one's Brainwashed Noble. He's one of the rare spawns outside. He's a mage type mob, and he has an odd polymorph spell that he'll cast on you. He turns you into a chicken, but you still have control of your character, so you're a fighting chicken. Doesn't have a permanent loot table, but it's a pretty fun experience. And then if you don't see him, maybe you'll see Marisa DuPage. She's a level 19 rare spawn. Pretty much the exact same thing. She's a mage type. She has the same odd polymorph spell that turns you into a fighting chicken, and then no permanent loot table, just only random stuff. But you know, they have a chance to drop greens, so get those rare elites, baby. All right, and then for your quest, you're gonna run through the undead area and hit the level 20 Foreman Thistlenettle. He is linked with one level 18 mob, and his only real spell is to leech life. Unfortunately, he also does have a random loot table as well, but if you need him for the quest, that's the reason you're going in there. I mean, there's 2 quests in that same area that you're knocking out, so you might as well do it. Get him in Stormwind from the dwarves. Alright, then you go inside, you got level 19 Rhahk'Zor. He's a big ogre. So he's supposed to patrol back and forth from the door that he's guarding. And on his 2 sides, he's got 2 archers, a level 16 and a level 17 elite. They're watchmen, Defias watchmen. He can be pulled away from the watchmen without them aggroing if you're good enough, and if you don't, if one gets aggroed, both get aggroed. So CC crowd control one of the watchmen, kill the watchman first. Rhahk'Zor has a very high health pool, so like he's got more than any other boss in this dungeon. He just takes a while to kill. And then he will cast a single target damaging stun. So real easy. But it starts getting you into how well you can control mobs, multiple mobs at once. That's what these dungeons are all about. Alright, now your rare spawn inside. Level 19, Miner Johnson. He's linked with 3 regular level 18 mobs. They're also just Defias Miner guys. His only spell is to cast an armor, like a pierce armor spell. So he'll most likely hit your tank with that. So healers, beware, your tank just might start getting hit a lot. I would say kill the level 18 guys first, and then burn him down. And then here, this is what he drops. A nice little shield and a cape. The cape should be similar to what you're already rocking in the party, though. Alright, then you get into the goblin areas. So if you're a paladin, once you start killing the goblins, they're going to drop the wood that you'll need for your quest. So there you go. And then level 20 Sneed. He's walking around in his shredder, so you're gonna clear the goblin room, and then once the goblin room is cleared, you're gonna pull him, and then you're gonna kill him. His shredder can cast fear and debuff on casters to slow your casting speed. Once you kill the shredder, it will eject Sneed. It resets the aggro, so tanks be prepared because you're gonna need to pick him up. It's pretty much just leave some rage or a spell or whatever. So when he pops out, you can just wham! You can just slap him with it, and then he's looking at you and not wailing on your healer. And then Sneed will only cast Disarm. And then both his Shredder and himself has separate loot tables. So good luck getting that Taxmaster axe. I know you guys, you warriors and paladins and stuff, really want that. Alright, moving on. Gilnid, he's in the foundry at the very bottom by the door. He has 2 level 18 ads that are really close to him. One of the ads can be pulled away if you've cleared the room well enough. And then I would say crowd control the other ad. And if you don't have crowd control, kill the ads first. Always kill the ads first. And then he can cast a damage and slow debuff, so it slows your attack speed. And then he drops the smelting pans. And then a ring that everyone seems to fight over. Everyone. But 2 agility! But intellect! Everyone fights for this. It seems like. Alright, moving on. Once you're inside, once you're inside the ship area, the giant cave, you got level 20, Mr.Smite, or Mr. Smitty, whichever one you want to call He has 2 stealthed level 20 rogue ads. And pretty much what starts this event is when you get near his treasure chest. My advice is pull him back the way you came, like real far. Just go ahead and pull him real far. Because that's 66%. Oh yeah, and then kill his ads. Kill his ads first. At 66%, he does an AoE stun with like infinite range. So he'll stun everyone. It lasts like 10 seconds. So if you're stunned and those rogues are still up, they're going to poke you to death because your healer can't heal and you can't do anything about it. He'll run back, he'll switch his weapon, and then he'll come back to you. And then once you get him down to 33%, he does the exact same thing. He does his AoE stun, he'll run to his treasure chest, he'll switch out his weapons, and then he'll come back to you, and then you kill him. And then these are the 3 things that he can drop: his axe, his sword, or his 2-handed mace for DPS. Alright, then we have Captain Greenskin. So he's patrolling around the very top of the ship. He's linked with a level 20 elite, a level 19 elite, and a parrot. So I would say you want to get rid of the caster first. Actually, I take that back. I think the caster is level 20, and the melee guy is level 19. I think that's how it is. So I would say crowd control the caster, kill the lower level guy first, then kill the other guy, and then kill Captain Greenskin. He will cleave and poison, so DPS and tanks, make sure you position yourself around so that cleave isn't hitting multiple people. And he drops a piece of the set, the blackened Defias belt, the Emberstone staff, which is what all the casters want, and the impaling harpoon, which I don't know if people would pay to use polearms at this point in time, but in case you get it, you can use it. Alright, and then I have Edwin VanCleef, because this is the order in which I kill him. He starts with level 218 elite rogue mobs. You're going to want to CC and kill them first. Like all the bosses here, I would always say kill their bosses first. He has a thrash spell, which grants him 2 extra attacks. So every once in a while, VC will he'll slap you 3 times. So healers beware that your tanks could just take a big chunk out of his life. And then when you get him down to 50%, a level 21 elite will come out to help him. It's another rogue mob, it's just a little stronger this time. Either crowd control him, or kill him, or off tank him, whatever you guys need to do. And then at 25%, he does the exact same thing. And then I would say either crowd control that one and burn down VanCleef first, and then kill the ad afterwards. Because at that point, VanCleef has the least amount of life and he's doing the most amount of damage. So get rid of him as fast as possible. He drops the chest of the Defias Leather set, a cloth chest, the Cruel Barb, which is a fantastic one-handed weapon that all the melee guys want, and probably your hunters. And then the Cape of the Brotherhood, which again, all your physical DPS classes are going to want. And then I have Cookie as last, level 20 elite boss. He's kind of patrolling the very back of the ship in like a crescent area, and he can be pulled without ads, and then you can just run out of the dungeon. He will cast a poison dot, damage over time, and he can heal himself. And then he can drop a one-handed mace, a wand, or a cat is in his permanent loot table. So you guys can get a free pet if he drops it. And then after that, you can run out and you're pretty much done with the instance. So the difficult encounters. The difficult encounters are almost every time you kill one of the bosses that are next to a door and you open the door, patrol groups will spawn. This is 3 elites that will spawn and then walk towards your character. Pretty much, they'll start at the beginning of the room, and then they'll walk towards the door that you just opened, and sometimes through it. Actually, they will walk through it. So you could be working your way in, and then, oh, we forgot about the patrol, so you're working on 2 elites already, and then 3 of them just jump you, so now you got 5 elites. That can cause a wipe. Once you get into the foundry, another one I have is the Goblin Engineers, because they summon little golems, the little harvester golems, and they're just a pain. Some people have a problem with the Gilnid fight because it's a boss with 2 adds, or if you mess up the pool somehow, you have like 4 adds, or your group has a hard time focus DPSing certain mobs down, or if you don't have crowd control, this fight can be really hard. And then with Mr. Smite or Mr. Smitty, it's the same way with him and his rogues. If you don't have crowd control, or you and your DPS really aren't on the same page, or if you're just hanging out by his treasure chest, the fight can be a lot harder. Also, as soon as you get to the pirate ship, the pirates can aggro you from above. So if you've got a low-level guy with you, I would say have the tank go gather your elites and bring them to your party, or else things can get really crazy, especially when Captain Greenskin is patrolling. You can aggro him from like the 2nd level when you're working your way up the boat. And then the VanCleef fight is extremely hard for players in this level range, especially new players, because it's overwhelming. If you don't know the fight, you've just got these rogues popping out, and they're poking everyone. Especially if they pop out right when the healer casts a spell, they're instantly on the healer. So the tank and the healer, everyone pretty much needs. The more they know, the easier the VanCleef fight is. And then there's a possible exploit. In vanilla, this worked. In private servers, it worked. But with the new engine, the new pathing could be changed, and this exploit may not work. It's pretty much a healer standing on a cannon where the mobs cannot path to them. So they will pretty much like bug out and go immune, and you can burn down VanCleef while you're doing that. And then the healer can jump down, the tank can aggro one mob, the healer can jump back, and you just kind of work your way that way. I wonder if I explained that well enough. Alright, shortcuts! Okay, so there's not really any shortcuts, but if a rogue lockpicks the door to get into the ship room, you can kind of pass a spawned mob group, because Mr. Smite will say, "You there, check out that noise." But if you pickpocket, that scripting doesn't happen. And it could be easier and faster to pull the mobs around that door. And I guess just to save time, the exploits of jumping onto ledges to stop wipes can also work as well. And then there's a back instance portal to leave. So when you're done, you don't have to run through the whole instance. You can just leave out the back door. Time for the map! Alright. So you're actually starting at the top. So up here, we're at the entrance. You're going to come in through this barn. You're going to wrap down. You're going to go around. Once you hit the first dead end, you can turn, and this is where the Brainwashed Noble spawns. And then you're going to run back over here. And Marisa DuPage is in like the lower area, close to the undead zone. Once you get into the undead zone, this is where you're going to have your first like hard pull. Some of these undeads are linked a little strangely, or their aggro radius is really big at the very beginning. There's a group here, a group here, a group here, and a group here, and things can just get crazy. You'll wind your way in, you'll kill Thistlenettle, you'll get his badge, and you're getting all these little letters. And then you run back out, and then you'll come around, and then you'll run over here. You can either follow the bridge and wrap around like this, or what most people do is there's a little ledge right here, and you'll just jump off and run straight in, and you'll just ignore most of the ads. And hopefully someone doesn't get left behind, because they will get poked to death. Alright, and then you enter. So you enter up here, up at the top. Up at the top. Look at the top. So you'll come down. You're going to work your way all the way in here into Rhahk'Zor. And there's 2 ads on the other side of this, on the other side of each side of him. Big ogre. And then I have the hard pulls. I have these warning signs for every time you go through these doors. The mob pack will like spawn here and walk all the way to here. So you can work your way in a little bit, or you can just run back. The smartest thing to do is to just run back and intercept each one of these. Okay, so once you kill those patrols, Minor Johnson spawns right here. He's just in this dead end. You're gonna have to work your way in. Then you'll come down into like the woodworking room, and Sneed patrols on this ledge, walks his way down, and on this little wood plank thing. And there's goblins all inside this room. So clear the room, kill Sneed, open the door, another mob pack will spawn right around here and work their way into this area like that. Just go back, intercept them. Then you're going to run in, you're going to go into the foundry, and then this is where your little goblin engineers are. 2 elite mobs will turn into 4 mobs if it's engineers. You can't, actually you can stop them from summoning these things, because you'll see, well, if you have when they start doing this with their hands, if there's no add-ons available, they're summoning their golem. So if you stun them, it should stop them from doing that. So any hard stuns will stop them from summoning the thing. You're going to run around, you're going to wrap around, spire yourself down, killing all these goblins. There's usually a treasure chest over here under the ramp. Kill Gilnid, open the door, lo and behold, another pack will spawn around here, and they'll work their way in, walking their way down the spiral and coming to kill you. Just go back, intercept them. Then you're going to go in. I have this question mark here because if you don't have a rogue and you can't pick this door, there's a Defias gunpowder barrel, and you can pick it up and then use the cannon and blow the door down. But beware, sometimes there is a Defias spawn inside the barrel, so when you open it, a mob will actually pop out, as well as your gunpowder. So once you get through this door, one, you either blow up the door and mobs come at you, or you lockpick it and the mobs are just kind of standing in there. You'll wind your way in, you'll hit Mr. Smite, Mr. Smitty, and his 2 rogues. You'll kill them. I would say pull them back, like, you pull them back at least to here, and it'll make your life so much easier when he starts doing his AoE stun. And you're going to run back up. You're going to... At this point, you can make a choice. You can either run around, kill some pirates, and go for Cookie, or you'll come this way. You'll work your way up the rear end of the boat around here. You'll come up to the side, and you'll see Captain Greenskin patrolling around on the top. You'll work your way up there. I have hard pulls here because this is where the pirates can aggro you from above you. So if you're not paying attention, you're working on one group, and then they aggro you, or Captain Greenskin and his squad actually aggro you from when they're patrolling around this side of the ship. It can get pretty dangerous. Alright, and then you'll kill Captain Greenskin roughly around here, or pull him onto the side of the planks on the boat. And then VanCleef is inside I guess the captain's quarters, with 2 rogues at the door. So be ready for that. And then the exploit is to jump on this little cannon right around where I have this G, where the healer can still see you. The healer will pull the aggro from the extra spawns, and you can just burn down VanCleef. And then when the healer jumps back on, the mobs will try to kill the healer, and you can either CC, stun, you can do anything to try to get their aggro, and you'll just work them down as your healer is kind of jumping back and forth on this exploit. But you never know. Classic WoW, they might fix these exploits. And then how I had it is I would always jump down the back and wait for Cookie, kill him, and then run out, and then go through the back exit. Alright, so that is the Deadmines, or colloquially known as VC. So now we're going to go on a tour. If you've already seen this dungeon pre-kata, you don't need to see this part, but if you want to see what it looks like, let's go ahead and go into the tour, the Deadmines. We're going to start from the very beginning. Alright, so here we are. Here's the entrance of the actual dungeon. So we're going to go ahead and run in. There's usually a chest that'll spawn here, depending on where someone, or where all the players are, how many players are in here. You'll get lucky. So you're gonna run down here. You'll kill all these guys. Oh, I could have put this. This is a shortcut. You can drop down here, but when you do that, you're probably gonna aggro some mobs. So either your party drops down together, or you're gonna work your way around town. And then once you get here, and you're looking for that rare spawn, or do the target slash target Brainwashed Noble, if he should be able to pop up if you see him. You're gonna take a left, and he will be. He spawned right here. There he is, Brainwashed Noble. All right. So then you can either go up through there, or you can walk around. I like walking around so I don't get lost. I hate getting lost in dungeons. So once you get up here, this is the area that this is the area that DuPage, yeah, here she is. Marisa DuPage. So this is her spawn area. So once you kill her, these mages will summon elementals, a lot of the time fire elementals. They're really annoying. But then here we go, we're going into the undead area in the map. So this is where you're going to see all these pulls. So your first 3, and then these 2 can get aggroed, and then these 3, or these 4 can get aggroed. This is outside the instance, so if you're lucky and you're in a big, there's multiple groups working on these quests, you're going to be fighting over a lot of these mobs. You're going to work your way all the way down, and then here is Foreman Thistlenettle. He's the short. He's supposed to be an undead dwarf. So that's why he's shorter than the rest of these miners. Yeah. And all these guys are elites. And some of them throw dynamite, which you can just pay attention and run out of the way. All right, now we're running towards the instance area. Okay, so these guys can shoot. So you can either jump here and run all the way down, which is what most people do. They'll skip these mobs and they'll just run. You can make it. Or you can run around the spiral. Come all the way down, and then you enter the dungeon itself. So now we're in the dungeon. If you have the Dark Moon Fair quest, the chest spawns right here. So this is what you're seeing. I have it spawned just so you can see where it's gonna open. It's just a fun little quest. You don't get a lot at level 58. You might get a green, you might get some potions. It's you'll probably sell the stuff on the auction house. It's nothing that you're actually going to use. And then I think you have to be level, I'm pretty sure it's scripted, you have to be level 58 to actually start the quest. And level 10 to get it. Something like that. And then anyway, you'll walk in. You'll kill all these guys. You'll turn this way. You're going to Rhahk'Zor. Here he is. He's not patrolling here. And this door will be locked until you kill him. But he should patrol a little bit. Just a little bit. And you can pull him. And then, as you can see, the music changes. There's Rhahk'Zor. You kill him, you can open the door. That's where a patrol will start. It's these guys, the human patrols. And then we'll see if Miner Johnson is here. He is not, but he will be right here where this rat is. Then we'll go around. And then this is the Goblin work area. So as you can see, lots of goblins. I would say shoot them. If you body pull them, use some type of ranged attack. Because if you body pull them, you could get a lot. And there's even some back here. And there's usually a treasure chest. Yep, there's a treasure chest. And then there is Sneed in his shredder. If you pay attention, I'm sorry if I ruin this for you, Sneed is a different model when he's in the shredder than when he is out of the shredder. So, just WoW assets. You'll kill Sneed. There's another treasure chest. And then you'll open the door. And then beware of the pathing mobs. They might not spawn until you actually kill the boss. Yeah, that looks like it. They're not spawning until you actually kill the boss. So you'll run through. You'll kill all these guys. The miners are regular mobs. And then you're going to work your way into the foundry. Dun, 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 dun. This is the Goblin foundry. And then this... Okay, these are craftsmen. On private servers, a lot of these goblins are scripted wrong. And they have the craftsmen that actually send the golems at you. Or I could be wrong, and it's the craftsmen that do it. But I'm pretty sure it's the engineers that do it. The engineers, I think, also throw. So if you're trying to aggro them, and you shoot them, they'll stand there and shoot back. Or throw their wrenches back at you. And then you have Gilnid over here. So in his pretty much his two mobs. This is the mob that can be grabbed by himself once he patrols farther away. And then if you're an engineer, there's engineering boxes. And then this is the chest that always spawns. So. Then we go in. We're running in. This is where the gunpowder barrel is. So you gotta clear into this area, or use your rogue if his lockpicking is high enough. I have to take this because I am not a rogue, and you'll see the event. Okay, so I got it. No ad spawned, but you have a chance to spawn, and then you'll notice this door is locked. So with that gunpowder barrel, you will fire the cannon. So, yep, as soon as you open the door, some mobs will run at you. If you stay back, they won't aggro you. And then if you pickpocket... Yeah. So this is the boat room. So you don't really need to adventure off to the side. It's just mobs. You don't need to do anything. You're going to fight your way all the way in here. Lots of casters. And then once you get to this chest area, you can see the rogues here hiding. Once you get to this area, the rogues attack, and Mr.Smite or Smitty will run down and attack you. You cannot actually open this chest. This is just a lore item for Mr. Smite and his actions. So when you engage Mr. Smite, I would say at least pull him to this area right here. And it gives you plenty of time to react to his long stuns. You'll work your way up. At this point, you can make the decision to come this way and kill Cookie, who is supposed to patrol, but she is not. Yeah, she's a woman. Or you can go this way. What I always saw is people just running this way, working your way up. This can be your first, there's a chest. This can be your first exploit, is jumping on the wheel, the water wheel, the propeller thing of the boat. Once you jump up here, these mobs, they can't path to you, so they will just like stop here and they'll just go huh, huh, huh. And then if anyone's standing next to them and trying to attack them, they'll be immune. They kind of bug out, and then but once you jump back, it re-engages the mobs and then they will attack you. So if you start having problems, or if you accidentally pull the mobs up there, which is where I had the warning sign, come down here and jump on this wheel, and everything should be fine. Unless they fix the pathing and mobs can also jump over there, but it was never possible. You'll come up here. This bridge path is dangerous because look how close Captain Greenskin pathed to you. And yes, he can aggro you from here. So get your warrior to do the pulling, and then I would say pull them back down there, so when Captain Greenskin patrols around, he doesn't aggro you and bring all these mobs with him. Another chest. You'll work your way up here, grab Captain Greenskin. You'll probably fight him here. If you want to test out the exploit, it's this cannon right here. So from this cannon, you can heal your party up here while they DPS certain mobs down, and then you can just jump on back over here. And once you do that, whatever mobs that you had the aggro will come attack you. And then in here, you got VanCleef. And then his two rogues. Two rogue buddies. Do the mechanics, kill him, possibly use the exploit, which is this cannon. Pretty much what I just said. Only your healer needs to really be there. And then as long as you're not doing like AoE damage, or just put all your casters and ranged over there. They can attack. All your melee DPS stays up here. And then this is where I would always drop down. And then I would kill Cookie. There is this patrol and Cookie patrols. So you want to time the jump to where you hit when no one is here, kill the patrol, or kill Cookie, and then you'll run out, and then you're done with the instance. I mean, you can kill some more mobs if you're really feeling it, but the back door is this way, and it leads you out. You'll drop down, so you cannot go back in. So know that there's a couple of drops, so you can't keep going back in, and then you're back out here. That's where it drops you out, and that's where you enter. Alright guys, so that's it. I just want to say thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you like the material. If I said something wrong, go ahead and throw that in the comments so we all know, and maybe one day I'll go back and fix all this stuff. Yeah, I hope this really helps. I hope you like these guides, and I hope to see you in the game. And that's it. So, thing.